problem. What to do with all the people? The millions who lived under ISIS were suddenly homeless. Thousands of the most radical were sent to refugee camps, including this sprawling sea of tents in northern Syria. The Al-Hol camp is home to 65,000 people. The families of ISIS fighters are kept here until their home countries figure out what to do with them. But their governments don't want them back. So they languish here, poorly guarded, with nothing to do.
Where are you from?
From Russia.
From Russia.
I came to the Al-Hol camp because I heard a young woman was here who said she was American, named Hoda.
Hoda, I'm Richard Engel from NBC.
Yeah.
And I wanted to talk to you.
Hoda Muthanna was born in New Jersey, the daughter of a diplomat from Yemen.
I'm just as American as any blonde hair, blue-eyed girl, and I would like to stay in my country and do American things.
Instead, age 20, she left her comfortable, even privileged life in the U.S. to come to Syria to join ISIS. She was an ardent believer and used her Twitter account to incite Americans to commit murder.
There's one tweet in particular where you talk about calling on Americans to do drive-by shootings, to rent a truck and drive over people, spilling their blood. And you say, Memorial Day, Veterans Day, go out and do it.
Again, my lawyer told me not to speak about these things.
Hoda now claims she is filled with remorse, but she was literally wedded to the cause, marrying 3 ISIS fighters, one after another.
So you were married 3 times?
Yeah, 3 times.
And 2 were killed and 1
Divorced, yeah.
divorced. And how were these men killed?
On the battlefield.
They were fighters.
Mm-hmm.
They were killed fighting.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever get any military training? I've seen those images of the ISIS women with guns.
No, we didn't. Women didn't really have a role there other than being a housewife.
That's just not true. ISIS had a women-only brigade of enforcers, part of the feared morality police. They were called the Hansa Brigade. Since ISIS had strict rules forbidding men and women from interacting with each other, it was these women who were responsible for policing and punishing other women. In a safe house in southern Turkey, I met 3 of them and asked a woman named Dua what her role was. We were a female police force, she said. We would tour the markets, take part in raids, and take women who were violating the dress code to our headquarters for punishment. Punishable offenses ranged from standing too close to a man to consuming alcohol, or even just having a hint of a pattern on their black abayas. The victors realized they had a new problem on their hands. Thousands of people emerged from Baghouz, stumbling amid the rubble. They were stunned, starved, and had nowhere to go. They were the wives and children of the ISIS fighters. They'd given up, and in return were given food and water, before being taken away to refugee camps. Eventually, the men surrendered too, hundreds of them. And even though we'd seen them fighting and many were battle-scarred, they all told us they were just cooks and drivers, innocent civilians.
No one says they're a fighter. No one. We haven't met anyone who says, yeah, I was a fighter.
The detainees were searched thoroughly and interrogated by American Special Forces before being marched off to prison. They didn't even attempt to hide their hostility and anger, hurling insults and water. It could have been worse. Several women blew themselves up rather than surrender. Whenever they saw our cameras, the women and some of the children would raise a single finger in the air, just like they were taught to do. It represents the one true God who could never be defeated.
Is it over? ISIS finished?
No. Next time it will be in your lands.
As they were hauled off to camps and prisons, I was left wondering, could that threat be real?